In the summer of 1834, the prophet Joseph Smith and approximately 230 others marched at the Lord's command towards Jackson County, Missouri. They went, as the Lord said, "The strength of mine house," he said, "which are my warriors." Doctrine and Covenants 101, verse 55. They went to redeem my vineyard, the Lord said in verse 56. It was a march of roughly 900 miles in the heat of a Midwest summer. The following is the recollection of Zera Cole, one of the marchers, about one of those days. It is as it is recorded by Oliver B. Huntington, who was also there. Quote, "One hot day in June 1834, after an unusually long, hard day's travel over rolling prairies without sufficient water laid in for the men and no water encountered for the teams, they made camp on a prairie, the end of which it was impossible to reach or even see. After tents were pitched and the teams turned out, a strong guard had to be placed to keep the animals. Men were very quietly complaining of the location, the lack of wood, and no water to cook with, even if they had plenty of wood. Some teams were about give out, and 1,000 other little troubles acted out if not spoken of. Well, the prophet sat in his tent door, watching and listening to all that could be seen or heard. At last, Zera said, he quietly asked for a spade. There was no noise, no bustle, no show of greatness or power about this man who had seen the Creator of heaven and earth and had received from him at different times unmeasured power. Only in keeping with circumstances, and as the spade was handed him, he measured the extent of the camp with his eye, and in the most convenient place for all, he commenced to dig in the earth. There was no rock to split open as with Moses of old, or he could have done that more easily or quickly. But he quietly dug a well, only a few feet deep, and then left it. Presently the water began to come in, and it kept rising in the well until the mules and horses came and drank. As the water was so near the surface, the prophet went and sat in the door of his tent and witnessed the joy of all, even of the animals, as they quenched their thirst in this God-given supply. There was no wonder or proclamation over the matter, as Brother Cole stated it, and perhaps not a dozen people in the camp witnessed it as he did. Brother Cole looked upon it as one of the greatest miracles ever performed by man as an instrument in the hands of the great Creator. End quote. Joseph Smith was a prophet.